Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be here with Michael Zuber, as always. And what I wanted to do in this video was ask him a couple of questions because, as those of you who know, he just hit the 50,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. We're having a celebration in Vegas. We just got done talking about. You got to be there. You're gonna miss out if you're not. But what I wanted to do was talk to him a little bit about his reflection on his last 5 to 6 years. When I first met you, Mike, you were looking swole on your couch, jacked and juicy from a CrossFit workout, talking to a grainy cell phone camera about investing in real estate. And now, all these years later, you're hosting an event with some huge name content creators around real estate and other topics coming in to talk. You're bringing in hundreds of people, putting this all together in Vegas. How in the heck did you go from that to this? And did you ever see the end from the beginning?
No. None of the stuff that we've accomplished in the last 2-3 years were on my radar. They weren't even possibilities. When I was on that couch in that purple shirt, because I can still remember that. I can still remember that video. I remember, and it's funny. It wasn't even my phone. It was a digital camera, and the video was saved on a SIM card. Right. That's how out of touch I was. Just crazy. I didn't even know you can monetize on YouTube. I had no idea. I didn't know it was a thing. I just knew that I had a story to share. I knew that I had to do something that I felt I was contributing, or I was going to get a job. Because you got to remember, I retired at 45, financially free, and I was depressed. How effed up is that, to be depressed, financially free at 45? I am a broken human being, and I know it. So I had to do some self-reflection, and I was this close to getting a job. Sitting on that couch, doing that first video was a commitment to do 100 videos. And it was enough for me to feel like I was moving forward on something. I had always thought, since day one, I want to create something that outlives me by 50 years. That was the thing. Everything that's transpired over the last 5 years, I have held on to that thing. Did I think I was going to write a book when I was sitting on the couch? Hell no. Did I think I would ever have 50,000 subscribers? Hell no. Did I think I would be doing the daily financial news, talking to 8 or 9 millionaires a week? No idea. But I knew if I kept coming back every day, that something would come out of this. I just had that. I had that belief, whether it was a belief that I should have had, don't care, but it's a belief that I had. So, dude, I had no idea where it was going. I just held on to the fact that I knew I was going to die someday. And I wanted something in the world that would outlive me by 50 years. And to me, the first answer was video in YouTube. It wasn't a book. It wasn't all these other things. It was YouTube videos. Like, I go back and watch some of these presentations from folks that have left us. I thought, hey, if I can find my voice in here somehow, maybe that will be the thing that outlives me by 50 years.
You know, it's interesting. I watch a lot of YouTube, and I see comments left on videos of other big creators, and I see your channel and your name dropped all the time. Well, Mike Zuber disagrees with this, or One Rental at a Time thinks differently. And you know, it's very interesting to see you have gone from where you were to where you are now. I know that you're famous for saying you presented at like the first ever Bigger Pockets Con, but now you're hosting a similar event yourself. You've gone from being a speaker to now you're the big dog who's organizing this thing. That's just got to feel amazing.
So first off, I don't see it that way at all. I really don't. I'm putting on an event to celebrate the millionaires that are a part of the channel. I'm putting on an event to celebrate the people that come back every day. I don't see myself as the big dog. I don't see myself as Bigger Pockets. It's none of those things. It's entirely different. I just happen to be in a place Like when I said yes to this thing, I was lucky enough to be in a position where I knew I could throw 10 grand at this and not feel it. I mean, you go back and watch the video where Dion brought it up. I'm like, I don't know what event costs, but I'm willing to drop 10 grand because I can, right? And
Right.
now you actually go out and price Vegas events and realize the food costs you 50 grand.
Mhm.
You know, you gotta charge, but it's wild. But I don't see, you know, I don't see it that way. I'm just lucky enough to be in a position where there's a lot of great people around me. And that's what I want to celebrate. There's just such amazing people. And what's really fun, I don't know if it's gravity or whatever it is, but it seems to be going faster and
Mhm.
bigger. Like, for example, Coach Carson. Coach Carson and I have done a couple of interviews over the last 3 or 4 years ago. He actually quoted me in his book he just released. He just released a book on bigger pockets where he talks
Nice.
about one rental at a time, getting to 4 houses, changing your life. I am in his book. I had no
Mhm.
idea. No, he didn't ask. He didn't ask me. I didn't know. Somebody sent me a picture. It's like, hey, did you know you're in this book? I said, I have no idea. Right. So it's wild. Then he and I start doing 30 minutes on Tuesdays. I say, hey, you want to come to this event? He's like, nah, dude, I don't do events. Not coming. You know, thanks for the offer, but I'm not coming. I go through and show him the agenda, talk about the format. It's questions, it's networking, it's celebrating the audience. He reaches back out to me 48 hours later and says, I'm coming. It's the audience in the gravity that we're doing here. We're not worried about selling this or selling that. It's about doing the work, hope, possibilities. And yeah, we're going to celebrate a little. But dude, it does seem to be going faster. It's kind of wild.
Mm. Well, I think it's one of the coolest things ever. You know, I've watched YouTube since YouTube pretty much was invented. I've watched lots of content creators blow up. I've seen them get big, become famous. I've seen them sell out. I've seen them change what they do and change how they treat their audience and treat them like they're just a money pit that they can go to. But I think it's awesome to say, I remember before you had 2,000 subscribers back in 2018,
Yeah.
and you were just doing the same thing then that you do now, making videos. And then eventually you started doing interviews. I was one of the first ones. And then you
Yeah.
started interviewing instead of just other regular investors. You went and said, hey, where are the experts that I can bring? And then you started, you know, and then you started doing your course and you did, well, the first book, which I got the PDF version of your first book. You were like, hey, Mike, will you read this and let me know what you think? I was like, absolutely, publish it. And then your second book. And then Dion did the narration for your first book and second book. And I've just watched it grow from where it started to where it is now. And I know that even though I have put in a tiny amount of work compared to you, and the people in the audience have put in a tiny amount of work compared to how much you have, we all feel collectively like we participated in the journey and it's our collective success. And that's just a good feeling and a cool group to be a part of.
Yeah. I just want to pivot on one word. I have never worked a day in my life on this channel. It has never felt like work. Seriously, it's never felt like work. One of the reasons it's never felt like work is I've never edited a video. And I never will edit a video, right? There's one video on my channel that is clearly edited. I paid somebody like $600 or $700 to do the walkthrough of the Blind Center to celebrate the Blind Center and hopefully get the blinds. My whole goal of the Blind Center video was to get the Blind Center more bookings, right? You can actually see that in there. We had, I think it was Melinda was her name. And we talked to Rachel, right, who does the food. And I just think what they're doing there in helping the visually impaired in Clark County is a valuable thing. They have a cool space. So I spent my money, yeah, trying to show people what's going to happen at the event, but also to help the Blind Center get more bookings because, you know, I'm lucky enough to be in a position to give back. And if I could drop a couple of bucks to help, it was, I thought it was important for me to do that. But if I had to edit videos, my channel wouldn't exist. Just not, that would be work to me. So I've never, none of these videos felt, dude, I get to talk to my boys, you know, every day. How cool is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Mike, honestly, I think that was just what the video needed right there. We had to talk about and celebrate, and we're going to do it in person in Vegas, but, you know, celebrating the success of the channel, the audience, you, the other creators. That's what people want to hear. That's what it's all about. So thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah. again, it's really wild to watch where we've been in 5 years. I am actually thinking what we do in the next 2.5 years will blow away the last 5. Because I do think we're finally coalescing around momentum, helping, consistency matters. So I am for the Dion actually brought this up. I think it was a couple months ago, and I was like, not happening. But I got to tell you, I think there's a chance that I book the Blind Center for President's Day weekend for the next several years. Just pay for it up front, be done,
Yeah.
and we'll worry about it later.
Yeah.
It feels really good. The more and more I play with the agenda and think about what we're going to talk about, it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. So
Exciting.
where can people find you?
If you just Instagram or YouTube Millennial Mike, I'll be there making videos about real estate.
Thank you, buddy.